also think with something like staggered disclosure. So if a person shares a little bit of information at a time, which is the normal male instinct, by the way, I'm going to protect my wife from the truth. So I'm just going to share a little bit at a time. Every single time that new truth is discovered, the person is re-traumatized. Whether that's the same trauma that's activated or aggravated or being exposed or whatever, or if it's new, I don't know if it's new trauma
Yeah.
or
I
but
think the way I like to
mm,
visualize that is like being in a field with someone that planted grenades and you can't see them. Like it's better to blow up the house and say what you did. And I get it. Men don't process like that. They have that instinct to protect and be cautious. And maybe if I don't tell her everything, but I always say, Kenneth, that when we meet with couples, I'm like, blow up the house. She doesn't mind. She can rebuild it. God gave her the ability to rebuild. Like I really believe if you read what a Proverbs 31 woman is, like we built with tenacity and all of those things. But it's like every time standing on a grenade, and then you blow off my foot, and then I have to yield my foot, and then next week you blow off my hand, and then I need to fix my hand. It's like that. I think is more soul destroying than just knowing the full truth and putting it on the table. And I know that you and Chris and the rest of the team work really hard in helping the guys understand that, because there is obviously that protection element. The God created men to protect, right? And to cover and shelter. But in these cases where there's betrayal, that's the worst thing that you can do. I know that lots of times we refer to that as drip feeding and stuff. And I think we also have to recognize that the person who created the trauma has their own trauma, right, Kenneth? These men have their own trauma that they have to expose and that they have to get to the bottom of it. And lots of times they're not at a place where they can even be honest with themselves, not making them bad people, but it's like, having to stand before that mirror and say, okay, in society, it's like that story that you speak about Dennis. And I mean, I think we should share that with the ladies one time, Kenneth, because it's a powerful story, where Dennis said he only lived for 7 years of his life because the rest he had masked, with his addiction. And I think that it's like an accumulated life that this person has created, and to expect them to tear all of that down, because remember, men struggle with pride and they have to protect their families, and they've got the community, they're a community leader, and then they've got children, so they're the head of the house. So them having to look in front of that mirror and strip who they are, that's a massive process, and I think that that's where it's difficult for the woman, because we like, just give it to us, tell us. But I think sometimes the trauma on their side, they don't even know all the trauma. And I think